Take a breath today. 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 Mindful Monday. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a take a take a take a take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Mindful Mondays, Mindful Monday. Take a breath today, not to escape the work, but center the why behind it. Be present in your purpose. Move with intention, not urgency. Lead from peace, not pressure. Mindfulness isn't slowing down the mission, it's sharpening it. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay aligned. Center the why behind it. Mindful. Be present in your purpose. Move with intention, not urgency. Live from peace, not pressure. Mindfulness, is it slowing down the mission? It's sharpening it. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay alive. Mindful Monday, stay grounded, stay grounded. Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays. Mindful Monday. Mindful Monday. Take a breath today. Not to escape the work, but to center the why behind it. Be present in your purpose. Move with intention, not urgency. Lead from peace, not pressure. Mindfulness isn't slowing down the mission, it's sharpening it. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay. Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays. Take a breath today, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, yeah. Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays, Mindful Mondays. Take a breath today, Mindful Monday.
Welcome again to another beautiful Mindful Monday. Dr. Crossley got me all messed up already. It started off the week and we he got me tongue tied. How you doing, sir? Let me see. Can I
see you today?
Likewise, sir. Dr. Parr, how are you, sir?
Dr. Parr.
I think Dr. Parr is putting on his
is on his warm-up clothes.
Yeah, you know, he putting on his warm-up clothes. You know, you got to get on a Monday. It's raining. We got to get the sun going. So he want to come on fashionably late. Knowing he got the history of how black folks are fashionably late always.
What country is that where the people come an hour late and it's fashionable? It's some country where that's just understood. Man. I don't know if it's Denmark or Sweden or somewhere, but they come an hour late and it's expected to be an hour late.
Man, you see, they must be us. Or do we take on their trade? We should have been on time. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood as always. It's 12:02 on a Monday. The date is 6/8/2026. And we're here again, Mindful Mondays. I'm Tavon Brooks, one of the co-hosts, along with Dr. Johnson, the founder of Mindful Mondays, and also Dr. Lewis Cross, the third, got to put the third in it, the three generations And we also have none other than Dr. Parr himself. Look at him. He's coming now. You can see the camera
Yeah,
moving.
I hear some drum.
Hey,
I hear a drum roll.
Tavon,
Yes,
I
sir.
have some additional news for you today.
Okay.
The the
Okay.
former, not for, one of your co-host Helen is going to visit you today.
Oh, Helen?
Helen Bailey.
Oh.
Oh
Oh
Lord.
wow! Oh wow! I want to talk to her. 'Cause, I mean, this is a good time to talk to her because I want she's running for office, and I got to make sure that
What's she
her
running for?
state representative,
Oh Lord.
Who's that?
Helen
Helen
is running.
Bailey, Helen
Helen
lost. She
Bailey
left us.
running for state rep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she said that we was, she had to go above us and had to go get a
Yeah.
bigger platform.
Well,
We too little for her.
that's okay. We uh we like to catapult our people to higher positions,
I like
and
that.
that's what Mindful Monday does for you. It elevates your mind. Tavon, uh, can you give us that disclaimer? Because
Absolutely.
we need to have that disclaimer, and then I want to do some just a little sharing, but that disclaimer is definitely needed.
Keep in mind that the opinions and comments made on Mindful Monday are simply those of the host, the person that's speaking it. It doesn't necessarily connect with the management of BRHF Internet Radio, the Hidden Gem, City Vision, Harris Stowe State University, or any other affiliated sponsor at the time. This is an open platform, like I say. It's about cultivating ideas, sharing ideas, and planting ideas in our city and our head so that we can make our city a better place. And right now, we need it more than ever. Dr. Jackson, thank you
Yes,
again, as always, for bringing me on this platform. I used to think that, I used to like, man, he always got me working for, a paycheck that I haven't seen yet.
It's
But
coming. It's coming though.
I believe it. But
You haven't seen yours
Well,
yet, Tavon?
I haven't seen it yet.
Hey, I
well,
be getting mine in the
think,
mail every week, man.
Oh, so I
hey,
guess mine delayed.
think about this. You are paid when you know that you're helping some people do some better things. Now, I learned that from one of my mentors. Sometimes the pay does not come in the way that you think it's going to.
I believe that. Come on, Dr. Jackson. You got to get you some better internet.
you're breaking up, John. We couldn't hear the last thing you
Yeah,
said.
he actually got he frozen. But I do want to add to what he was saying, Dr. Lewis Cross. I was walking in the supermarket the other day in Schnucks on the south side, and a couple was walking and they said, "Hey, I know you. I know your voice." And I'm like, "Huh?" I never met him. He's like, "I heard you. Mindful Mondays." And I don't know. And as he was saying it, his partner was rushing out the supermarket. Never met them, don't know who they are, but when they shared that, it let me know that we are being listened to, we are being viewed. When I go back on the reviews of what we did in the past, it went from 80, now it's like a 250 views. So people are watching us. We're building our group again, our family again, our followers again. And I think today people are more so ready to plant seeds with Mindful Mondays because again, it's all about an idea. It's all about them seeds. Dr.
Let,
Jackson?
let me let me share two things with you today, and Dr. Lewis Clinton Cross III, and I think that, and she's going to come on at 12:30.
People's number one chiropractor in the universe is coming on today at 12:30 to share some chiropractic information for our listening audience.
Nice, nice, nice. I think
And
it's
so we
needed
may
now.
need to move a few things. I sent a tentative agenda where I changed some things around. For instance, Dr. Parr is going to be with us the whole time, so he's going to be flexible. we're going to let him, he's going to join us in the conversation. So his presentation is going to be very sharp and crisp, normally what he does, and he'll be about 10 minutes. But the deal is we will have Dr. Peoples on right at 12:30. And what I want to do right now, before we get any further down the road, I'd like to tell people what the weather forecast happens to be. And
Hot.
Tavon,
Yes,
I know
sir.
you'll love this. I'm going to share with the group the best GIF that we received and sent out this week. Can you tell our listening audience before Cheryl gets on? Can you tell us what a GIF is and what do those initials stand for?
So you said GIF. There are a few definitions. Are we referring to the one that is in the graphic interchange format?
Yes.
Mhm.
And so tell us what that is.
So the graphic interchange format, that's actually an acronym which stands for, let me remember, I'm sorry, GIF is graphic interface format, and it's a format that pictures use. Uh, you have different types of formats. You have formats like JPEG, PNG, but the GIF is more so used for when you're sharing. It's a smaller format where you can share more so, I would say, in
Just a
in
good
in
picture of saying.
right, right. So it's small, little smaller than it's a small format of a picture being sent to you. Sometimes it encoded with a video or audio message in the GIF. You may see a lot of them when they send the emojis. Those are kind of considered like partially a GIF file format. So it's just
Well,
a small
well,
reduced
thank
image
you.
of.
What I want,
Uh-huh.
Did it freeze again?
okay,
I don't think so.
what I want to try to GIF I received this week. And so I'm just simply going to share that. And I think here it goes. Listen carefully. If we could look into each other's heart and understand the unique challenges that each of us faces, I think we would treat each other more gently, with more love, patience, tolerance, and care. That is the GIF, and I receive at least uh, 10 of them every day, but that is the best one. Uh, and what we want to try to do, Tavon, is we're going to begin to send them to you so that you can share them, the ones that are selected, and we're going to let our listeners vote on them. In other words, which GIF is the best that you think, and so that's going to be a new feature for us. But we'll get those GIFs to you, and so what do you think about that, um, Dr. Parr?
Um, you hit me right quick. I don't have a particular thought about it, but if you press the issue, um, those are some things that we, especially Louis and I, kind of, and Dr. Ross, bring up every day. So I'm not sure why we would need to vote on those because those are everyday axioms that kind of help people. So if we start trying to prioritize them, I I'm not sure if that's a great idea. Just let them be, let the people hear them, let them enjoy them, and let them internalize them. I think that would
So,
be
so,
just more helpful.
so what you're saying is just simply show a spread of the GIFs and just let them look at them and internalize. That's fine. We'll do that. Uh, well, while we're talking about doing that, I'd like to share my screen, and I'd like to try to take care of the weather, the 10-day weather forecast.
Absolutely. And while you're finding that weather forecast, I do want to say that the GIF is funny. It was actually they started by scientists in the month of June. So we're actually in the month that the GIFs actually were created, which is kind of ironic to me, but I like that.
Okay. Well, and Dr. Paul, I like your idea. Instead of showing just one or two that we think are good, just show at the beginning of the show some of the GIFs from the week.
Mhm.
Again, no need to have our audience vote on it. We'll go with that. Here's the weather forecast. As many of you know today, it is raining. In St. Louis, you can get a change in the weather. According to Dr. Cross, you can get all three seasons in one day. Now,
Five seasons. Five.
today the high would be 81 degrees. It's already been raining. Uh, Still a little more rain in the forecast for today. Tomorrow on Tuesday, listen to this, the lowest will be 62 degrees and the highest will be 92 degrees, and it is uh, cloudy and it is scheduled to rain. On Wednesday, on Wednesday, we anticipate all sun, the one of the better days of the week. Still hot though and humid. 95 degrees will be our hottest. 75 degrees will be our lowest. And on Thursday, another chance for rain. 93 degrees and 70 degrees will be our lowest. Now, understand that when you have a 90-degree temperature and it's raining, that it does something to the air quality. And what it does to the with the humidity, the air quality generally is very, very high. And so
Mhm.
you can look forward for that for the rest of this week. Now, on Friday, as I was telling you, 87 degrees, 69 clear, no rain in sight. Saturday, 83 degrees will be our top, 69 degrees will be our lowest. And then on Sunday, 82 degrees and 66 degrees will be our lowest. And if I can summarize it, there will be rain today, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the temperatures will range from 90, the highest we're going to get is 95 degrees on Wednesday, and the lowest that we'll get will be Sunday on 66 degrees. That's your report on the weather.
Well, it looked like it's gonna be a nice rainy day week, so it might have some snow. I think Missouri is the only state that created two other seasons in the year. So you got a couple of other ones. You got all of them together, and then you got the fire and the brimstone. So only in the Midwest.
Well, again, you
How
would
you
say
start?
that, and you would say that because you were, uh, see, like Dr. Cross said, you can get all three seasons in one day in St. Louis, and that's unique. That's unique.
Very unique.
I see we have technology, the technology 101 guru with us,
That's
Cheryl
right.
Watts. Cheryl, you
Right.
want to tell us about the I had earlier you weren't on, and I needed somebody to define GIF, and Trayvon did the very best he could, and I think he did a commendable job. Go on, Tavon. Tell her what you told us, and then Cheryl, you move
He
on.
gonna put me on the test like he gonna put me on a test like that. Come
No,
on.
I tell you
Well,
what,
Miss
I
Watts, what I
won't.
said was I just simply it was a GIF is a smaller downgraded format that they incorporated video and audio into a little what do you call it man an interchange photo I would call it But let me go back to my notes because you put me on the spot in front of the president and now. But GIF stands for graphic interchange format. So
Well, I
they had the
imagine
scientists.
Cheryl would know, wouldn't she?
She would know.
Yes. Maybe she can help us out.
Okay, Tavon, you have the gist of the idea, but the primary use of the GIF format is to do an animated figure. It's
That's what
actually
I was looking for.
layers of uh,
Mhm.
images or pictures that are put one on top of the other. And then once they are done, you end up with an animated figure. I know everybody's seen all of those cute little animated emojis and excuse me, memes and all sorts of things. But basically, that's what most people use a GIF for, to uh, to animate a series of images into one image that just immediately moves. And it also tends to be in smaller, as you said, in smaller format than full size pictures. Because as we all know, the bigger the picture is, the better the resolution of it, the higher the
Mhm.
definition, the more space it takes up on any kind of storage media. And it's also, of course, harder to transmit this to someone else via email or through any other kind of storage media, cloud media. The bigger it is, the more space it takes, and the harder it is to send to somebody. So if you can find a format that is smaller, that's all the better. So, like I said, Davon, you got the gist of the idea.
Mhm.
I think I
You
even
got it.
mentioned emoji. I think I even mentioned the word emoji. So
Mm-hmm.
I give credit to my notes from back in the day.
Okay. Well, with oh, there he is.
Did he go
Yeah.
put a jacket on? Oh, Miss Watts, why did
Yeah.
you do that to him? He go and put a
Well,
Put his
jacket
jacket
on.
on.
you know, uh, my my audience deserves the very best that I can bring forth to them. And so I thought, since it was still a little chilly inside here because the air conditioner is working well, I would just simply put a jacket on. I just put the jacket over the top. Now, if it's overkill, uh, Dr. Parr and Dr. I'll take it off. If
No,
you
you
say
can leave it on.
overkill, I'll take it off right
No,
away.
it's not overkill. It's
No,
not
you're looking
Now,
overkill.
fine, John. Everything looks good.
I ain't gonna say you looking fine. You looking handsome.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
John, you're in your own environment. You have to do what you think is best. And if that
well,
means a
you
jacket,
know when
sweater, or
Tavon, you
whatever,
know when you
enjoy yourself.
Tavon, when you
You breaking up, John? You breaking up?
you know that's that's the signal. Stop talking.
No, I can hear
No,
you now.
No.
you were breaking up. You were breaking up.
Okay. We started discussing some of John's transmission issues, and of course, we see that he still has some. And we talked about last week doing things like checking what the definition of his camera is. Instead of being in high definition, take it down to a medium or even a low resolution so that there will be less for his internet service to transmit. But looking from the engineering side, of course, we know John has pretty darn good internet service to start with, but there are other issues within our homes or buildings that can degrade the signal. So quite often people will use what is called a repeater or a signal booster in other parts of their home. My home is a very good example. Even though my office is here on the ground level, our all of our devices that bring in our uh, that generate our Wi-Fi are on the ground or below ground, and there are certain spots in the house where the signal does not come through, and those spots are usually near structural beams or other thick internal structures in the house. So we use a different system in our house. You might have one router, for example, in the basement, and sometimes you may put in a second router on the ground on the first floor, or you may have another one on the second floor, or you may have a smaller device called a repeater that grabs the signal and it pushes it to your devices so that you have better connectivity. These are suggestions that I might give to John that you might want to look into. Excuse me.
Cheryl, believe it or not, I took
A repeater or a signal booster, so that when you move to a different part of the house, you get that same strong signal that you would have as if you were downstairs in your office area, where your internet service is actually coming into your house.
got you.
As if we didn't do that in my house, we'd have a small disaster as far as Wi-Fi goes. But
Mm.
we also,
Same here.
being a household of engineers, we did different stuff when we built the house. Our house is completely wired from top to bottom, so that when everyone was using cables to plug into their internet, all you had to do in any room of our house was plug a cable in, plug your device in, and boom, you were there. But now that we also use Wi-Fi more frequently than wired connections, we found ourselves in need of a secondary router for my office so that I have strong signal, and in a repeater device in the front of the house because there's a big fireplace and a couple of other walls that are in the way. So it's just a matter of how techy do you want to get, or how engineered you want to get in your house in order to have good signal. As you well know, businesses depend upon excellent signal throughout their entire facility. So our philosophy at our house is, well, why not? If we're going to be wired, if we're going to be connected, we may as well be well connected. So that's actually going to be our technology moment for today, is deciding how well connected you want to be within your own home, or even in your apartment if you're living in an apartment or a townhouse or the garage, wherever you are. How well
Mhm.
connected do you need to be connected?
Mhm.
And let's not
Okay,
even think about all those ring cameras and all those other cameras outside your house for your security system.
Mhm.
So
okay,
that's
And
what
like,
Cheryl.
we're talking about today, connectivity. How well do you want to be connected? And if you can't get it in one shot, maybe you need to add on a device or two that will help you.
Hmm.
Okay, Cheryl, one question.
Uh-huh.
After I do the extension, how do I actually turn down the resolution? How do you actually physically do that?
Okay, that's on the settings for your camera.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
for the settings for the camera, I go there and
So
instead of
so for instance, here on on StreamYard, when you when you're looking at your view, I see icons at the bottom of my screen indicating my microphone and my
Mhm.
and it shows me what my camera is. And if I click on an arrow that opens other settings, there's a gear. If I click on my gear, it shows me what I look like right now, which camera I'm using, and the camera resolution. I'm using standard definition or 480 pixels, which is easily transmittable um, across the internet. There are other settings. You can go to low definition, which might get a little fuzzy. I can go to high definition or 720 pixels, or I can go to full high definition, which is 1080 pixels. Right now, the way I'm transmitting with standard definition is coming across very well. It's not lagging or dragging because there are too many pixels trying to go across my bandwidth. So that's an easy solution that you can do.
Okay, I will do that
Try and
today.
help.
I will do that today, and also see if I can get a extender.
And if
Or
I were
receiver
you,
to talk.
I would go to Best Buy and ask them the questions of how to strengthen and extend your boost your signal within your house. You know, now you already know there's multiple ways to do it, but ask them the most inexpensive way to do it, which is most likely
Okay.
a repeater.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
thank you so much.
I will also add to that, Michelle, and I'm sure you probably noticed that if when you add your router or your booster, be careful because you can also clutter your house or your space with the frequency of the Bluetooth. Sometimes, then it might even clash, or you got to make sure it's on the same wavelength as the main router. Correct, Ms. Watts?
Uh, Actually, not so much as you said the wavelength as you detect. You use your main router to detect whatever repeater or secondary router you have, and then those two will be connected. Then once you have them connected, your device will have a choice of which one you want to connect to. And if, in John's case, if upstairs is where his secondary router or repeater or signal
Yes.
booster are, he will connect to that instead of his main router. And if he's
Okay.
downstairs, that is where he can connect to his main router. So you can switch between connections all over the place very, very easily from your device. That's just looking at connections looking at your Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Sure.
Again, it was more than a technology moment. You're really helping me out here. Uh, let me make an announcement. The poet laureate of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame has graced us with her presence. We have none other than Helen Bailey. Helen, good to see you. How have you been?
Hi, Dr. Jackson. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm doing very well. It has been a while. It's great to see you. Great to see everyone. Glad to be back at the Mindful Monday show.
We all can
Glad to
hear
have
you.
you back, Helen.
Mm-hmm.
So is this the moment I get to tear her? I mean, I ain't gonna say tear her apart, but this moment I get to I get to question her.
I must have frozen again. Hello, Helen.
Oh, you didn't hear that, Dr. Jackson. I was asking, was this the moment you're gonna let me, you know, and entertain the
Yes, I
audience
can hear
with?
you.
Okay, Helen, I was wanting to see if I know Lewis is supposed to be on. What time is Dr.
Doc,
Peoples coming?
Dr. Peoples is supposed to start at 12:30, so we're
At
two
12:30,
minutes
too.
over. So we need to bring her
It's
on.
12:32. We're bring her
Yes.
on.
Okay, Dr. Peoples, are you available? Do you see her, Tavon?
I do not see. I do see her. She's coming on now.
Okay, great.
Okay. Well,
She's not connected yet, but she is working on it.
Okay.
as soon as she's finished, I think we ought to have Ms. Helen. Now, what's your
What are you running for?
poetic name?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, authority.
Authority is your poetic name?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and then after Dr. Danielle Peoples gets on, oh, there she is. We have not. Hey,
All
we've
right,
been
Dr.
missing
Peoples.
you. We've been missing you,
Hello,
boy.
I have
Hello.
never seen Dr. Jackson smile and clap
Hello,
back.
Dr.
everybody. How
Peoples.
you
It's so
doing?
great to see you.
It is so good to see you.
It's so
You
good to
know,
see all of you all.
Yes.
you know what?
This is
You know when
wonderful.
people, you can tell when people get rich. All I
They
can
come
tell you,
right.
her practice has always been great. It's improved now, and then that young man married her. She kept her maiden name for her business sake, but she's lost some weight,
She
and
glowing.
I'm telling you,
Yeah,
she is looking fan
that's
uh,
right.
Well,
as Dave
you all
as
still clowning.
No, we not. We can see the glow. We can see the
Yes,
plants. Even
ma'am.
the plants behind you shining,
you
like the plant shining,
you
the
you
window
are
shining.
you're looking fantabulous.
Fantabulous.
Now,
Fantastic. That's a new.
Dave Parr has the lexicon that can help us find the right word to describe. We haven't seen you. It's been almost a year, and we're
Yes,
so glad that you're back with your team.
Yes.
I
And
am glad to be back.
okay, I'm gonna stop talking because we're gonna give you some of my time today, so that
Yes.
you can spend as much time as you need. You've been away from us too long. Go, Miss Dr. People.
All right, I have to hit you with my usual greetings. So, greetings, greetings, greetings. I am Dr. Danielle Peebles, the resident chiropractor for Black Radio Hall of Fame on here on Mindful Mondays. So, it has been a while, right? It has been a while, but how fitting it is that I am returning during the month of June, which is what? It's many things actually, a lot of things that we're celebrating, but it is also Black Music Month, and I love music. Now I'm not going to sing for you. I'm not paying for your therapy afterwards, so I'm not going to sing. But I decided to tie in music anyway with my presentation, and in doing so, I want to highlight an artist, Grammy award winning singer, actress, Brandy. You're like, what? What does that have to do with chiropractic? Just follow with me. Just hang with me. In the 90s, she was crowned the princess of R&B. And among her many accolades, she made history as the first Black actress to play what role? Do you all know what role that was?
I can't remember.
Cinderella.
Cinderella. She was the first Black actress to play Cinderella alongside who? Well, since Helen knows, who was her mother? Who was the fairy godmother?
Oh, the fairy godmother was Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston. Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
Cheryl. Look out now.
My goodness. All right. So she was our first Black Cinderella in a live action film as well. So having started her career as a background singer before her breakthrough as a very successful solo artist, she is known for her vocal agility. She has since left us with so many hits like I Want to Be Down, right? Sitting up in my room, and baby. We could fill in the lyrics to most of the songs. Well, probably not the ones on this call with me since they didn't know she played Cinderella, but maybe Helen can help me out. For example, fill in the blank to this song. Almost doesn't.
Oh, Doc.
No one knows.
This is a general saying.
Well,
Like
I didn't hear the person. I'm still trying to catch Mary J. Blige.
it was Brandy. I'm talking about Brandy.
Oh,
So she
Brandy.
has a
Okay,
song
so
that's
yeah, I want to
called
be friends. I want to be down. Okay, I'm following now.
Okay, and she has a song that says almost doesn't
Count.
Yeah, y'all didn't sound certain about
Great.
Right.
Who
you
got
all
that?
cannot go on
So
Family Feud with me.
Well,
Mr.
I mean,
Cross.
now I know what
I
you're
knew
talking
the
about,
answer,
so
but
I
I
had to
can't be
catch
answering
up.
all
You
the
know.
questions.
She said, I can't answer all of them. So almost doesn't count. So here's the thing. On many occasions, in many scenarios, almost really does not count, right? In
Right.
love, he almost loved me like I wanted him to, but almost doesn't count. Yeah, the men not
Mm-hmm.
that one. You were almost the winner of a race, but it doesn't count because you still didn't win, right? Or how about this situation? You were almost on time for work, but you still wasn't on time, so you still late.
That's right.
Yes, but I'm gonna tell you a time when almost actually does count, and that was that time you almost failed. It actually counts in chiropractic. Why does it count? Because you might as well have fallen. You are still injured with an almost didn't fall. Today, even this month, here we are in June. It's so beautiful outside. Well, I don't know where you all are. The rain has stopped here, so the sun is coming out for a bit. But we're in June and everyone is feeling excited. They're loving the sun. They're outside, but they're hurting. And so now they're coming in my office and they're like, Dr. Peebles, I can't even stand up straight. I got this pain going down my leg and I haven't done anything. I don't know what's happening. Like, why am I hurting? And I say, well, when did the pain start? Well, it just started a few weeks ago. Okay. Have you been noticing some tightness in your back or a strain? Yes. How long has that been going on? Oh, that's been going on for a few months now. Yeah. What happened a few months ago? Nothing. I've been doing fine. I just been doing my everyday thing. And then I say, well, a few months ago we had ice on the ground. Did you fall? No, I didn't fall. Did you almost fall? And they say, yeah, I almost fell down the steps. I lost my footing and I reached out for the railing and caught myself, but I didn't fall. So why am I hurting? Because you still had to activate all those muscles that you twist and turn to try to not hit the ground. So you became rigid and you became rigid in positions that is not your normal position or a neutral position for your body. So that stretch out, that reach for that railing to stop yourself from falling, that strains your shoulder. But guess what? Your shoulder is attached to your neck and it's attached to your upper and lower back. How about when your foot came from up under you, but you tried to bring it back real quick? That's a strain on those hip joints because you tried to twist and right yourself again. So almost does count when you almost hit the ground. But how about those who actually hit the ground and still didn't come in to see the chiropractor? I have people who have slid clean up under their vehicles. This is when ring cameras are awesome because I got to see in real time a patient hit that ground and end up underneath her vehicle. Now, she didn't even remember half the things that happened because the accident happened so quickly. And naturally, when we're falling or almost falling, it's easy for us to forget it because we quickly want to make sure no one saw us fall. Our ego takes over and it blocks a lot of things. It blocks the memory. It blocks the immediate pain because you're like, "Ooh, I got up. No one saw me." And you bounce on and go on with your day thinking nothing has happened. So then by the end of the day, you've completely forgotten about that fall. It didn't even register. But as time goes on, then those injuries starts to settle. And then the muscles are hurting, the joints are hurting, and now it hurts to put your feet on the floor when you try to stand up to get up out of the bed. So, one of the things to keep in mind is even if you've fallen and actually hit the ground or fallen onto any surfaces or you almost fall, you really want to get yourself checked out immediately so that you can prevent long-term injuries, long-term nerve damage or irritation that can alter your quality of life in the long run. I mean, it's summertime. You want to be at the pool. You want to be able to get in the pool and get out the pool. You want to play with some children, maybe not everybody's children, but you may have some grandkids or nieces or nephews. You want to go to the amusement park, you want to go to the parades, but you're struggling to enjoy it because your back is hurting. You can't stand up straight for a long time now. You can't even enjoy the barbecue. Well, maybe you didn't want to do the barbecue anyway, and maybe you just wanted to play. Either way, you are needing to get checked out. So the summer has started. Get your summer in gear and get your adjustments, get your body checked out, get those joints healed from those falls and almost falls, and get into the nearest office, preferably my office. Okay. So where's your office, Dr. Peoples? I'm glad all of you asked because the chat is jumping with asking these questions. My office is in downtown St. Louis, just a block from the soccer stadium at 2315 Pine Street. Come on in, get yourself checked out. If you would like to contact me, you can get on my website and fill out the contact form at stlprohealth.com, or you can give me a call at 314-607-9150. And remember, almost really does count when you almost hit that floor. Any questions for me, you all?
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
So, what would you consider would be the best way to manage that? Like fighters train, they get hit, so their body get accustomed to the hit. So if they fall, it's kind of like a hit. So a person that's not in that kind of exercise, or is not getting hit every day, how would you recommend them to train their body to where if they do fall and move it in a way that is not normal, that it won't be as much damage?
Tavon after my heart right there. Look, Tavon asked the best question. And this question here is something that a lot of people really don't want to hear or don't want to be disciplined to do. I strongly, male and female alike, you need to weight train. You need to be in the gym lifting weights. If you don't know how to lift weights properly, you don't even know where to begin, please, please, please invest in a trainer. Because if you're lifting weights at least 3 times a week, you're strengthening those muscles. You're also improving the fast twitch fibers. And unless we get into some other things, but fast twitch fibers is going to improve your reflex. It's going to improve your reflex to any stimulus that's coming. And then also it's going to protect those joints because the muscles surround and connect to those joints. So if those muscles are protecting that joint space, it'll also allow for you to have a better fall, but it'll also improve your healing, your rate of healing. So the main thing I would encourage is lifting weights.
One more question to that. Recovery. Ice,
Okay.
heat, cold, they got different formats.
The first thing you need to do, especially within the first 48 hours of that fall, within hours of the fall, ice, ice, ice. Okay. Ice, ice, baby. All my patients say, oh, but I was putting the heat on and it felt so good. It felt good in that moment.
In that moment, yeah.
But then a couple of hours later, you can't move. You're stiff. Well, what you have done is you have warmed up those muscles and have the blood flow flowing, but you're not moving. So then when you sit there, it's almost like putting hot grease. And I know you all wouldn't do that. Maybe one of you all did. But putting hot grease down the sink, right? When it goes down the sink, it goes down fine because it's hot. But when it cools, what does that grease do?
Clogs up
it clogs it up. So now the water can't flow through as well. It's kind of stagnant, struggling to get through. You're doing the same thing with the blood vessels. You heat it up, and then when it cools down, because the inflammation is already around that joint space, now it's stiff. It's stiffening that area. So icing it is going to cool it. For example, here's another example that maybe you can run home with. The house is on fire. I don't want anybody's house on fire, but I'm just go. Well, the house is on fire. Are you going to bring gasoline or water?
Depending on whose house is it.
Well, that depends on if you're going for the insurance policy. So you might bring gasoline. But what I meant was, if you're not going for the insurance policy, then you'll bring water or some form of water to it. In this case, when you are injured, you now have inflammation. And in the word inflammation, you have flames. So you want to cool the flames in the body. Put ice on it first. Bring the temperature down, and that will start to speed up your recovery. Okay, so that's how you remember to do ice first. And then if the injury's been there for months and months and months, and the inflammation has kind of changed a little bit, you can put heat. But in the beginning, start off with ice, allow yourself to rest, depending on where the injury is. Of course, elevate. So you've heard of rice before. That does help in those first 24, 48 hours after an injury. Go right ahead, Dr. Jackson.
Earlier, when we had you on, you suggested that if you turn or if you get over 60, that you needed to do a couple of things. You talked about balance training, aerobics with weights, and stretching. And so I took your advice, and I got me a trainer, and we brought him on a couple of times, and he actually echoed what you said. He said seniors, people that are over 60, need balance training. So he's erected and got some positive exercise for this group that I'm with for persons that are over 60, and we do balance training at least once a week, and then he gives us that for homework. The second thing you said is that we need to do some cardio aerobics. Now I listened to what you said, and so he is actually doing aerobics with us, and then on another day during the week he does stretching. Now I feel a lot better. I haven't lost any weight though, Dr. People. So what must I do? I'm doing everything you told me to do, and I'm still the same weight. I'm not staying up any later. I'm not like Dr. Cross, going to bed late and waking up early. I'm not like that. I get my full 5 to 6 hours of sleep.
I'm gonna be your alter ego, people. It's like the president
Cross.
had the speakers, and when you say something, I'm gonna come behind you and say what really what do you
Oh, funny.
But now I really wanted to say to you that you told us early on about the balance training, the aerobics, and the stretching, and what you're giving us now, I think would be very, very helpful. So I guess my comment was, I'm doing twice a week. Should I be doing more?
Nope, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to do more. You may need to check your diet. You can exercise. One of the things my mom would say, it's probably not the nicest thing, but people say, "Oh, I go walking," but they haven't changed what they're eating. And my mom was like, "So what is she doing? Walking the weight on?" So you could be exercising, but if you don't change your diet and what you're putting inside, it really isn't going to change anything. But there are a lot of factors that influence weight loss. What you're eating, if you're eating the correct amount of food. Sometimes people cut calories, and I'm like, you can't run a car on less gas if you have no gas in it. So the food acts as your fuel when you're eating. So that to customize in your situation, we would have to have a detailed conversation.
So Dr. Peoples, I have another question, and it's probably, I'm sure you're aware of it. So there are some friends of mine who are on a diet. They're starving themselves on a diet, working out, but not really getting the nutrition that the body needs, but they're just consider on a water fast and would drink water for the whole week. Do you have any insight on if that's proper or if that's, how the body is that even healthy to do that?
Nope. Your body, not yours, but the body will go into protection mode. Okay. No matter whatever the stress is. So if they're trying to lose weight and they're starving themselves, your body is going to hold on to whatever it can get.
Mm-hmm.
So if the last meal you ate was not necessarily a very nutritional dense meal, it was fat laden, it doesn't matter. Your body's going to hold on to it because it doesn't know when your next meal is. So you need to feed your body frequently so that it can have the energy and say, okay, we can release these things. We can release this fat because we're going to get more food and we're going to be able to burn the energy. But if you don't have it, it's going to hibernate, which is going to continue to hold on to that fat. Then in addition to that, so as I was mentioning with Dr. Jackson, it's not only about just the eating less, you have to eat correctly. So you have to have your protein, you have to have the correct amount of protein, carbs, and good fats, and you have to do some research or get someone to help you with that. So if your meals are having those controlled portions in addition to moving, then you will see additional results. But that's not it only. There's this thing called stress. Now if you can name your stress that's adding to your life, that way you're not going to lose weight if you're under a lot of stress. So you're going to have to manage stress in addition to managing
Mm-hmm.
food and exercising, because some exercises can add stress if you're still holding stress in other areas. It doesn't always relieve it. So it varies per person to person.
Mhm. So, last question before I let you go, because it's funny because I just had these same discussions yesterday because I do vegan tastings and they always ask these questions about health. Another topic came up is intimacy is a form of exercise. So
Mhm.
I share with them that it is, but it's not the proper exercise that the body needs to really regulate itself through high stressful situations. But they stood on and debated that intimate is also a form of exercise that, if done regularly, it will actually help the body.
Woo,
What are your
that's
thoughts
a
on that?
deep one.
I mean,
That
you don't
was
have to
deep.
go too deep in
I,
it,
look,
but
I won't go too deep. I'm just gonna say, if you can go for it, let that be the exercise. No, I've actually had a patient who lost 100 pounds
oh
as
wow,
with that as their form of exercise. I was like, "You go, girl," um,
Hmm.
and then I will leave it at. I won't go in depth, but I will say this though, because I'm the author of "Sex Sent Me to the Chiropractor." Here is my take on it. Stretch before you get in there, and let stretching be a form of foreplay so that your joints don't get messed up and you can't walk because your hip jacked up or your jaw jacked up for whatever reasons, and then you need to still come to the chiropractor. Blink blink.
I got you.
Do you?
Keep in
Here's
mind
a
the
good,
opinions and comments made are those
Are
of those.
solely of Dr. People.
Hey, Dr.
uh,
People,
Yes.
is there such a thing as too much exercise?
Yes, it can be. Too much of anything can be a bad thing. So some people say, well, how is it too much? Some people do not know how to rest. Your body still
Mhm.
needs to recover. Exercising is great, but you still have to recover from the stress that you put your body under. So exercising every single day, but I'm not going to say you can't exercise every day, but change it up. Do not do heavy lifting every single day of the week. Your body has to bounce back. Those muscles will only grow bigger and grow stronger if you stress it and then allow it to recover. But on that recovery, you need to be doing stretching. You need to be doing some muscle, some tissue work to relieve it and icing it and bringing it back down. And then it can grow as you need it to. But recovery is just as important as pushing yourself. So a day or two, or even three, depending on what your type of training is and for how long, does play a role in this exercising. Because you can
Understood.
hurt yourself actually, and then you won't be able to exercise at all. And now we back to sitting down, eating because we stress, and then we gain weight.
Dr. Peoples, I know that you have a very limited time and we pushed you to the limit. You said you'd give us 15 minutes and we've already taken 20. When are you coming back? And don't tell us
Next
in
year.
another blue moon.
Oh
Please
man,
don't.
'cause I had it on my calendar for the next blue moon, but since you all called me out, I'll see you all in 2 weeks.
All right.
All
I'll
right,
Thank
now
see
you.
you
you can
Thank you so
Monday.
much. Thank you so
again.
much, Doctor.
It's been our pleasure to have you with us. And how much time do you need when you come on? About the same amount of
About the
time,
same
or
amount of time, especially
okay,
if we
good.
having the engagement. This really works. So 20, 30 minutes, we could do it.
All right, we will give you 20.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Again,
grateful.
tell your husband that we were flirting with you and that you look fantastic. Uh, I think we need to hear from our poet laureate at this particular time.
Hello, hello, it's me.
Ellen,
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. Yes, can you hear
Authority.
me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
I can
can.
hear you.
Authority.
Yes, that is authority. That is I. Yes.
Can
It's
you
good to be back on
give
the
us
show.
we're glad that you're back. Can you give us at least some rendition, maybe close it with a poem, but what have you been up to? And I understand that you're looking at the political arena, and we'll give you more time to read your poetry than to tell us all of the good stuff that you've been doing.
Okay. Well, I'll start with what I've been up to. I actually this morning had a meeting about creating my audiobook as an album to put on streaming. So I was with a producer and engineer that I know who does that kind of thing, and we created a little bit of a beginning. So I'm excited about that. So my poetry book, I have done a lot of different things with it. So it is an audiobook, and that'll be available soon where you listen to audiobooks. I also recently did kind of a play based off the poetry book. So I had some comrades, associates, fellow poets do a response piece to the book. So they performed a piece from the book. They performed their own special response piece, whether it was a poem or a song. And it was really a good time. So I'll do that again sometime in July, toward the end of July. So I'll make sure to invite everyone. But that's what I've been up to. I've taken an entrepreneurship class with the Better Family Life. I completed the Institute for Black Liberation through the Deaconess Foundation. And I've completed the Peace and Power class to officially become a power builder with the Freedom Community Center. So I haven't been idle. I've been very, very busy, locked into my community, improving my skill set, and organizing, with Black Men Build as the political education co-chair. Hosting the Women's Healing Circle, and hosting an open mic with Black Men Build as well once a month called Revolutionary Wordplay. I've been doing a lot.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you've been doing a lot. We've Black Men Bills. We're Norman Ross is doing some stuff with them as well,
Yes, it's
and so
great to see him.
and you'll get an opportunity to hear him a little bit later. So now that you've told us all of the good stuff that you're doing, before you get away, and we want you to try to make this a standing thing at least once or twice a month, where you actually read some of your dynamic poetry for us. So if you have something now, we'd love to hear it, and we'd love to hear it in your very good expressive tones.
Yes, definitely. I can do one or two pieces. You can let me know how many would you like to hear?
Well,
Three.
let's hear the first one, and
Okay.
then we'll, based upon the time, we'll see if we have enough to. Uh, how long are you going to be with us today? I know you're running,
Yeah,
so I know
I've
you're running.
definitely got a few. I've got a few minutes. I've got at least 20 minutes.
Okay,
28
well,
districts.
I
Yeah.
tell you what. Why don't you do that first piece, and let's talk a little bit about that, and then save the second piece. We'll see if we have the time. Okay, because
Okay.
we've got Dr. Parr hasn't been on, Norman hasn't been on, and I'd like for you to hear them. So
Okay.
give us just one.
Okay, great. So I'll do you call this faithful? It's the poem that I included in the letter that I sent to a few churches in
Hmm.
2024. And it goes like this. I have yet to grasp humility, so I come to you as I am, brokenhearted, alone, crying for my native land. Do you not move across the water in the stillness of the day? Do you not speak out to us and answer for when we pray? You are the God of old, the one who makes breath become. You are the one foretold, who will break the chains of everyone. I lay all my righteousness before you, though I have none to give. Teach us to love. Teach us to give. Teach me to pray. Teach me to lament. I seek to cry out to you on behalf of all who are me. I seek to tip your hand in favor of justice on behalf of those who look like me. On behalf of all my brethren, I cry out to you, my God, my God. Where is the one who we know exists outside of time? We ask you to reverse the curse and free us from all lies. Imprisoned in my neighborhood, I wait to see if you are faithful. Come again. Do a miracle here, so we know that you are able to lift the burdens off our backs and free our hearts from devastation. Your power and wisdom are all we need. Strength and progress are what we seek. Give us a reason to hope and breathe. Bring corrupt systems down to their knees. Let freedom ring true here again. In America, my native land, to Ethiopia, where earth began. Free us to be free indeed. Free us now. Give us free. And that's that piece.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Very nice.
Uh, we're very, very well done. We're gonna let you stop there because we've got Dave Parr, we also Dr. Parr, we also have Ross, and I want to make sure we get to everybody. And then there are two other pieces that we have going, and I want you to at least get an opportunity to hear Parr and Ross. And I know you've got to go, so Dave, can you
That
give
sounds
her?
great.
That
Can you
was
give her
that
your
that was very beautiful, Helen. I always enjoy your poetry.
Thank
Um,
you, Mr. Parr.
and when the audiobook comes out completely, let me know so because I'll be one of those who getting it.
I will. Thank you.
All right, David, you on?
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
That's a surprise. Okay. Um, we hit the month of June, and in June we have some major observation days, or it's the observation month. This is Pride Month. We're celebrating all month. We're honoring the LGBTQ community. Um, and there has been some kickback as far as our federal government is concerned, but that's just too bad. We're still celebrating Pride Month in many, many areas. June 14th is Flag Day. We're commemorating the adoption of the American flag on June 14th. We also have our most famous, one of our most famous African American holidays, and that's Juneteenth, which will be June 19th. It is a national holiday, people, so in the United States. So it's an opportunity to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved African Americans. And of course, that day was prominent in Texas when um, 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, the um, the people in Texas, the enslaved people in Texas, were informed that they were free. We also have that famous day that Lewis, myself, um, and John and Tavon would enjoy, and that's old good old Father's Day. Father's Day will be June 21st. It's a day to honor fathers and father figures. We also have coming up the fantastic beginning of summer, and that's called the summer solstice. Summer solstice is between June 20th and June 21st, and it is the official start of summer. It does also be the longest day in the year. So after the summer solstice, days will start getting shorter. So be aware of that. We also have Men's Health Month, um, Dr. Cross. So be aware that we celebrate all things that are important as far as men is concerned. I do wanted to get into some information as far as African American history is concerned. One of the things I want to say is that we have an African American who was the first member of the United States Air Force to graduate from the U.S. Army 18th Day Jungle Operation Training Course. He was the first one. His name is Sergeant DeCane Paul, and he took the training 18 days in Panama. The training took place in the dense Panamanian jungle, where students must endure extreme heat, humidity, tropical rain. They go through all kind of survival processes. They go through small arms tactical warfare. He was the first Air Force person to complete an Army program, and he was an African American. Also, you remember that the first female who completed and competed in the Army U.S. Ranger Ranger program, who competed and completed, was also an African American female, Lieutenant Gabriel White, who was a graduate of West Point, by the way. Now to get in some days about African American history. May 31st, 1870, the first Enforcement Act was passed by Congress to protect newly freed African Americans, providing severe penalties for those who conspire to deprive others of their civil rights. It primarily was passed to enforce the 15th Amendment, which was ratified 2 months before and earlier, to guarantee that the right to vote could not be denied because of race. While initially successful, the Act's powers were later weakened by our Supreme Court, seems like deja vu, by Supreme Court decisions like the United States versus Crenshaw, which ruled that the federal government could not regulate the actions of states, could regulate the actions of states, but could not regulate the actions of individuals. So individuals could take the opportunity, if they chose to discriminate and be biased. May 31st, 1909, the first conference of what eventually became known as the NAACP met in New York City under the name of the National Negro Committee. This was initiated by an interracial group of activists prompted by the Springfield race riots in 1908 in Illinois. Roughly 300 people attended, including prominent African Americans, leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois, who was a primary organizer, and the only African American who was initially on their executive board. Ida B. Wells, Barnett, columnist, and who had written several books on lynching, gave a very fiery speech about lynching and lynching in America. And also a white activist, Mary Covington, was also there, and she was a white suffragette, and she was co-founder of the organization, and she helped organize the initial meeting. Their goals were to refute scientifically the popular belief in black inferiority, and some scientists tried to prove that African Americans or blacks, period, were inferior. That's a bunch of crap. Were inferior to the other races. Again, that's a bunch of crap. They focused in on strict enforcement of the 14th and 15th Amendment, they securing equal rights, educational opportunities, and public school expenditures for African Americans and white children, and ended voter disenfranchisement, which came into vogue because of the weakening of the enforcement law. Their second meeting that happened in May 1910 was the time that they adopted the name the National Association for the Advancement of Color People, NAACP. W.B. Du Bois also suggested colored instead of the name of Negro, with the intent to advocate for the right of all dark-skinned people, just not African Americans. May 31st, 1921, one of the most violent episodes of racial violence in this country occurred in Greenwood, Oklahoma, a thriving African American community in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This was known as the Tulsa Race Riots. Basically, it should be known as the Tulsa Massacre, because that's basically what happened. It was a total massacre of African Americans and a total annihilation of that community. Um, May 31st, on May 31st, 1921, from May 31st to June 1st, deputized whites killed more than 300 African Americans, burned and looted the 40 blocks of African Americans. That was about 1,265 African American homes, schools, hospitals, churches, and about 150 businesses, African American owned, were destroyed in the Tulsa Massacre. White deputies and even a couple of members of the National Guard arrested and detained approximately 6,000 Black Tulsians, who were only released upon being verified by a white person. African Americans were left homeless and lived in tents well to the winter of 1921, according to the Zim Educational Project. And anybody who looks at the Zim Educational Project, they have a lot of projects as far as African American history is concerned. June 1st, 1835, the Fifth National Negro Convention convened in Philadelphia. This conference of free African Americans considered a number of issues concerning African Americans. One of their focuses was considering the term, focusing on and urging people not to use the term African, not to use the term blacks or colored. They instead wanted to use the word Negro as the official race designation. This designation was not popular among the Black community, but they still began to use it anyway. A researcher, Richard B. Benjamin Moore, indicated that the word Negro should not be used because he felt the word Negro was a symbol of the degrading sickness in our society. And it also indicated that it was a term indicating Black inferiority. On June 1st, 1864, Solomon George Washington Dill, a white political ally of Black Republicans, was assassinated in his South Carolina home. He was assassinated by white terrorists, a white ally of Blacks being assassinated by other whites, who targeted him for advocating for Black civil rights. June 1st, 1921, was the culmination of the Tulsa Race Riot Massacre in Greenwood, or what we now call Black Wall Street. The official death total, this is the official death total by the state of Oklahoma. They said that there were 26 Blacks and 10 whites killed. That was the official. But we know that many more African Americans in Tulsa were killed. Historians eventually estimated that between or as high as 300 African Americans were killed. This event was deliberately covered up. Can you believe it? The Tulsa newspaper removed the Tulsa News, a white newspaper, removed the front page that helped spark the incident, and even police and state militia archives disappeared about the massacre. They ended up missing. In the 1970s, when scholars began to delve in deeper into the story of the riot because of people talking about it and because there was still a lot of information, as I said once before, if you want to find out information, if people want to get information, there is stuff you cannot hide. And that became evident in the Tulsa massacre. An official state government commission was created to investigate the riot. Historians and scientists began looking into stories, and they began to find many victims in unmarked graves. They began to interview people who were still alive, and they eventually pieced together a story about the Tulsa massacre and how bad it was. They concluded that between 100 and 300 people had been killed and their homes destroyed. About 9,000 African Americans ended up homeless. On June 1st, 1973, Detroit WGPR was given a license or granted a license by the FCCA, making it the first television station to be owned and operated by African Americans. In 1995, it was sold to CBS and rebranded as WWJ-70, which ended the black ownership. However, they developed a radio station that is African American owned, and it is WGPR, and it is a fairly nice, as I understand, upbeat and soul station that's operated and owned by African Americans. On June 2nd, 1863, Harriet Tubman, acting as a scout and a spy for the Union Army, guided 3 federal gunboats past Confederate mines in South Carolina, freeing about 700 plus more enslaved people and destroying millions of dollars in supplies of the Confederacy. The freed enslaved people, or the people that she helped to enslave free, immediately ended up joining the Union Army because they could at that time. On June 2nd, 1875, James Augustus Healy was consecrated as the first bishop of Portland, Maine, or the first bishop of Portland, Maine, becoming actually the first African American to hold a rank of bishop in the Roman Catholic Church in the United States. Healy was also the first African American ordained as a Catholic priest in 1854 in the Augustine ordainship. Healy was born as a slave, actually. He was born as a slave from an Irish father and a mixed slave mother. Healy was light enough that he often passed as white. So therefore, even though he had that mixed heritage, he is considered as the first African American. His brother, Patrick Healy, became the first African American president of a major white university, Georgetown University. He also, interestingly enough, passed as white. So oftentimes they passed as white. However, the Catholic Church and Georgetown University knew that they had African American blood in them. So they are considered the first. On June 2nd, 1943, the Red Tails, anybody know who the Red Tails were?
Strategi Airmen.
Who were they?
Strategi Airmen in World War II.
Right, 99 Pursuit Squadron, the Tuskegee Airmen. They flew their first combat mission during World War II, attacking a position on the island of Pantelleria, it was an Italian stronghold. They went on to gain fame during the Second World War as the Red Tails or the Kentucky Airmen. June, June 2nd, 1971, Samuel L. Greeley became the first African American admiral in the United States Navy. Um, it was very important that he grew up through the ranks. He became one of the first African American captains of a combat ship for the United States Navy. June 3rd, 18.
Excuse me, Mr. Paul, Dr. Paul. We're gonna run out of time, and
okay, that's fine.
Wait a minute. There are 2 or 3 questions that have come to me by some people that are your friends, and so I want to ask those questions, have you respond to them, and then you do your general word for the day and so forth. But let me ask one of the questions.
All right.
From Kansas City, Missouri, a Mr. Everett Carey says, could Mr. Parr do a weekly calendar for publication so that he can keep those dates so next year he'll know what's going on those specific dates? That's the question that he asked. In other words, can you publicize and the show be responsible for trying to get those dates? Like, for instance, he says you give 4 or 5 things that happen on June 1st. You give 4 or 5 things. He said if you put all those together, he said that would make his evening and his afternoon go better.
If he wants me to publish those and type them out, I will do that for him. Just let me know when he wants it.
Well, he's not wanting it just for this show. He is saying, can you do that for every one of them? And I told him that's a great idea, and we might even be able to help publish that along with some other stuff with some other people later on, and that could be part of the Mindfull Monday, and it could be the book that Dr. Parr puts together. So he's already 2 steps ahead of you. So why don't you get started with it next week? And again, you can show it on the calendar and then write it out if that's okay with you.
Oh, that's fine. Nope, that's no problem at all.
Okay, so if you can now, I know you got some other stuff to go, but I want to make sure that that we give Norman Ross an opportunity, and that there are a couple of other items that need to go. You need to do your. There's another suggestion about your word for the day as well. I'll tell you what that is, but we need to hear your word for the day and your thought for the day.
Well, usually I give a quote, and our quote today would have been from Tarazi J.P. Henson, who is a tremendous African American actress, and she's played some major roles. And her quote is, "No matter how often you fall from grace, what matters is how many times you get up." This is a message. This is a message of resilience, one of our words for the day back in the day, and self-forgiving. A fall from grace, a mistake, a failure, or a public stumble is not a permanent state unless you choose to make it that way. The focus should shift from the failure itself to the act of getting up and rising again. Grace can be reclaimed, and through perseverance and dignity, you keep getting up every time, and you keep rewriting your own narratives, regardless of how many times you stumble. And I totally agree with that, because I think all of us have actually done exactly that. We have gotten up from stumbling, and we considered our small failures just that the part of the big picture is you got to keep going. Our word today, elocution. 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 It's the art of effective public speaking, specifically focusing in on voice control, proper pronunciation, articulation, and expression delivery. It's
One
the act of speaking clearly so that people can understand you.
one last.
Origin, yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were just about finished. We're going over.
Now,
Go
I was
on.
just going to say the origin is a Latin word. Much of our words come from Latin anyway. Some synonyms are elocution or diction, public speaking, oratory, rhetoric, and pronunciation. I'm not going to go into some of the sentences because you can probably create your own. I just want to give Dr. Ross a time, so because I enjoy hearing him, and I also enjoy hearing Lois talk about things that we have um, very similar backgrounds in. Thank you very much for letting me share all of that.
All right. Let me say this to you. I'm going to ask this question for you to think about, Dr. Parr, and then we'll move right on to. I think Lewis and I are giving most of our time to Dr. Peoples, so I think we can work that out. But the one question that was posed by another person said, could your Dr. Parr put his word for the day and its meaning along with those great sentences in some kind of written form? And this is a teacher who is who's working with your vocabulary list. So people are asking you, Dr. Parr, to do some stuff. Don't respond to that. I just want to put that out there, and without me going any further, at this particular point, I would like for um, um, Mr. Ross to come forth.
Oh, okay. Hey, I want to give a shout out to our podcast audience, and also a shout out to our fellow hosts and to our dynamic poet, Helen Billy. They're very good to see and to hear, her performance and what have you. So today we want to start where we left out. My name is Norman Ross. I am a comedic scholar. And what I want to bring to you on an ongoing basis is the ancient African history of ancient Kemet and other ancient African civilizations that existed during that time period and what have you. Let's see, I want to start from current slide. Oh, okay. And where we left out was in the Middle Kingdom, which was a 258-year golden age. It was called the literary golden age because almost all of the script of ancient Kemet that was used throughout the 3,000 years, over 3,000 years of the existence of ancient Kemet was used. And when we talk about the Middle Kingdom period, which is called the literary golden age of ancient Kemet, we're talking about the 11th dynasty and the 12th dynasty, which starts 2040 BCE and ends 1782 BCE. And BCE stands for before the Common Era. As you know, the Common Era is the birth of Christ. So what we're talking about when we talk about the Middle Kingdom period, we're talking about the 258-year golden age, literary golden age. What you see before you is an image in stone that was carved in stone of King Mentuhotep the First. And Yes. What he is wearing is the white crown of Southern Kemet. The red crown is worn by the king. The same king will wear the red crown of Northern Kemet to demonstrate that he is the king of both lands, Northern Kemet and Southern Kemet. Okay, so you'll see different statues, different images, different paintings of the same king wearing the different crowns. I also pointed out last week that, and let me get to his first picture. You'll see here's another picture of King Mentuhotep I wearing the white crown. But I wanted to show you again a statue of King Mentuhotep I wearing the red crown of Northern Kemet. Okay, but if you look at his skin is jet black. And that is the spiritual color of the god and the founder of Egypt. He's called Osiris by the Greeks, but his original Kemetic name was Osar. And he's wearing, his skin is jet black because he's making a statement to anybody who views this statue that he is a direct descendant of the god Osar. Okay, but let's see. But most of the statues of King Mentuhotep I, you would see him with a reddish or copper brown color to his skin, because that's what his skin actually, look like. And a lot of his statues contain that reddish brown color. This is a photo of his funeral complex, his temple complex. Okay. And this was a picture of two contingents. Up above at the top, you have Kemetic, ancient Kemetic spearmen with their shields and their spear. Below, you have a darker colored contingent of archers, with the bow and arrow. And these were Nubian archers. And the Nubians were pictured as a darker brown color. Okay. Here is another picture of that same picture. We went over these before, but I wanted to, clarify some things about the Middle Kingdom. And so we have a picture of Princess Ashet, who's smelling a lotus flower. Okay, here is another image of her smelling a lotus flower. And this is a picture of King Mentuhotep's chief wife, Queen Kowet, who's getting her hair braided with the African braids and what have you by a servant. And this is another picture of King Mentuhotep I. And behind him is Queen Kemsit, which is a third queen, one of his other queens that is pictured in this rock, image, rock carved image. And this is a picture of Queen Kemsit, who was one of the queens of Mentuhotep I. Here is a image in stone of King Mentuhotep II. Okay, and his Sankare name was translated as giving life to the soul of the god Re or Ra. Okay, and this is a limestone block that the King Mentuhotep II is carved in. Okay, this is another image, stone image of Mentuhotep II. Why the study of ancient African history is so important to African Americans is that there is an effort to hijack your ancient African history. Now, we know European Americans have been doing that all along, but sometime in the 70s and what have you, European American reporters and what have you started giving media images, animation images of ancient Kemetic people as looking like Arabs. And so the conclusion that European Americans have made is we need to, number one, turn over the issue of what was the ethnicity of ancient Egyptians or ancient Kemetic people. We want to turn that over to, we want to imply that they look like Arabs of today. And the number one minister of state for antiquities in the country of Egypt, his name is Dr. Sahih Hawass. He has stated that the ancient Egyptians were not a Negroid people. They were a people that looked like and had the ethnicity of the people who are running Egypt today, which are Arabic people. So the importance of studying ancient African history is that your ancient cultural heritage is being hijacked by European Americans and by foreign, countries, because the history was so important in terms of the foundational basis of modern Western civilization, that they cannot say that these were a Black African people. My goal is to show you, demonstrate to you, that all of the major queens, kings, and major Kemetic officials were Black African. The 4 golden ages, all of the kings, queens, and major Kemetic officials were of Black African ethnicity. Let's go further. Here is part of, this is another stone bas relief image of King Mentuhotep II. Now, this is a photo of a statue of King Mentuhotep III. Okay. And it is said that he overthrew the king and then proclaimed himself king, establishing the 12th dynasty, King Mentuhotep III. Okay, now this is the king of the 12th dynasty. The kings, Mentuhotep kings, were of the 11th dynasty. This is King Amenemhet I. His name translates as the god Amen is at the head. Now, this is the first time that the god Amen, sometimes he's referred to as Amen-Ra, this god was established as the chief god of ancient Kemet, beginning in the 12th dynasty. From the 12th dynasty all the way down to the 31st dynasty. This was the dynasty of Queen Queen Cleopatra VII, all the way down to her, and she was the last ruling dynasty of ancient Kemet. This was the from the 12th dynasty to the 31st dynasty. the god Amun was the chief god of ancient Kemet. Okay, what we call Egypt. Okay, this is the pyramid of King Amun Imhet the First, or what's left of it. Okay, these are some block statues of 12th dynasty officials, and you can see that these officials were of Black African and ethnicity. The Hebsed festival, since the first dynasty in ancient Kemet, the king has always the kings practice the Hebsed festival, which is called the Jubilee of the King, the King's Jubilee celebration. During the Hebsed festival, the king had to literally physically run or exercise in such a way that he could demonstrate that he was still physically capable of ruling the country. This is a headrest of an Egyptian wearing essentially a wig. Here's another ancient Kemetic official during the 12th dynasty. As you can see, these were a Black African ethnicity people. Here is an image, a photo of the statue of King Senrosret the First. Now his name translates as man of the goddess Woset. Oh, okay. And during the 12th dynasty, he became king. Okay. Here's another image of King Senrosret the First. As you can see, he is of Black African ethnicity. Very important to point that out, because there are a lot of people who believe that the ancient Egyptians were not a Black African people. So our task, our goal, is to demonstrate to you that all the kings and queens and major Kemetic officials of all four golden ages were of Black African royalty. And we can demonstrate that to you, because we can show you their statues and their paintings and their images. Here's another picture of King Senrosret the First. Okay, this is another picture of King Senrosret the First wearing the red crown. Previous, you saw a picture of him wearing the white crown. But the kings will have different statues, different images of them wearing both crowns to demonstrate that they are the sole ruler of the two lands, which is the ancient Kemetic civilization. Here's another picture of King Senrosret the First. Okay, he's holding the Ankh, which is the symbol of everlasting life, the symbol of eternal life. And this is the pillar of Senrosret the First. His image carved, and as you can see, these are Black African royalty. Now, this is a very interesting statue of King Senrosret the First. This was when he was a teenager. This is a picture of this is a photo of a statue of when he was a teenager. This is the statue that is used mostly to show his kingship, because if you look at the statue, you're not really sure if that's an Africoid image or what and what have you. So the ploy, the trick is for a lot of museums and what have you to use this statue of him to demonstrate that, well, we don't really know what his race was, but this is what he looked like and what have you. But this is what he looked like as a young boy. I showed you images of his statues when he was older. Okay, this is statues ahead of the heads of Kemetic officials. And as you can see, Black African ethnicity. This is a statue of King Amen-Emhet II, who was the son of Amen-Emhet I. Okay. Now, as you can see, this is a very large statue. You can see that he is of Black African ethnicity. This is King Amen-Emhet II's, what we call Sphinx, but that's not the Kemetic name. That's what the Greeks called these type of statues that showed the king with the king's head and the body of a lion and what have you. The actual Kemetic name was Hor-Em-Ekhet, which translates as the god Heru is on the horizon. Okay? When you look at the Greek translation of the word Sphinx, it translates in Greek as the strangler. So here's a negative name that the Greeks gave these types of statues. That's why we always have to use and go back to the original place names of the city and the names of the king. Because a lot of kings, quite a number of Kemetic kings were renamed by the Greeks. Okay, this is another, whoops, let me get rid of this. This is another picture of a different Hor-Em-Ekhet statue of King Amen-Emhet II. This is another statue of King Senrosret II. And he appears here as literally, you can see, Black African ethnicity. This is his wife. And a very hairstyle. Do you want to stop here, Teron?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Let's stop here and continue this next time.
Okay.
All right. Again, before you go, Norman, and I said Norman because we know each other like that.
Right.
Look at the etymology. You talked about one of the Amen persons, and look at the etymology, because if you look at that word, it has amen in it.
Right.
And so did we borrow that phrase? Because this was before the time of Christ and the churches and all of that business.
Definitely.
So that's a question I pose to you to have for next time. And then the second piece is
can I just say that the Hebrews stayed in Egypt 400 years. And they end their prayers in Amen. Islam, they end their prayers with Amin.
Right.
A-M-I-N. And Christians in their prayer with Amen. And what they're doing is they're asking the God Amen to sanction what they're praying. Of course.
Well, I just wanted to talk to you because I thought that was the etymology in terms of how we got that and how that became part of several different. But again, I didn't want to interfere with we already running over.
Oh, okay.
This is how we're going to close out the show. Normally, we would let everybody have a summary statement. I gave up my time today. Lewis gave up his time today. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to make, I'm gonna read something funny. I think I tried to do this before and I couldn't. I'm going to read something funny, and then we're going to let Dr. Lewis Clinton Cross III close us out, and we should be ready to go in less than 8 minutes. Okay. If indeed I've shared this thing with you before, just tell me we heard it before, and I'll stop.
Oh, okay.
Here's something funny, and again, this is one of our regular features. Now we missed today, so we missed the piece that we call NOFO, Notice of Funding Opportunity, and we talk about proposals. We also missed this time the coming event in St. Louis, and I'm going to ask Dr. Cross to talk a little bit about that because the National Black Radio Hall of Fame is giving a fundraiser, and so I want him to use in his closing remarks to talk about that event and who's going to be there and all that business, and it's in August and all that. He'll tell you that, and then the last words you'll hear will be that of our host, Tavon Brooks. But let me read this something funny for you, and I hope I can get through it. A priest and a taxi driver both died on the same day and went to heaven. Have you all heard this before?
No.
I didn't think so. Let me finish it up. St. Peter was standing at the pearly gates, waiting for them. Come with me, said St. Peter's to the taxi driver. And the taxi driver did as he was told and followed St. Peter's to the mansion. He took him to a mansion. He said, this mansion is yours and everything that's in it all around it. And it had everything you could imagine. A bowling alley, an Olympic-sized pool, fans, air conditioning, everything that you thought you wanted, it was there. And the taxi driver, who was a little gruff, says, wow, I couldn't believe it. Thank you. Then St. Peter's took the priest, and he led the priest to a rugged old shack with a bunk bed and a little small TV. I mean, it was so small, you almost had to have a magnifying glass to see it. The priest cleared his throat. St. Peter's, I think you're a little mixed up. Shouldn't I be the one with all of those things and the mansion and so forth? I was a priest. I went to the church every day and I preached God's word. I healed the sick. I provided for the poor. And St. Peter's very stoically said, yes, that's true. But during your sermons, everybody slept. And when the taxi driver drove, everybody prayed. That's it. I'm not a good storyteller. Thanks, Tavon.
Well, we had to put the effect in there to help you with that storytelling, but I give it to you, Dr. Jack.
All right.
Everybody have a lane in comedy. I don't think.
No, that's not my forte. But if you guys know, Ron Gregory is the comedian that's attached to us, and Ron has not been doing well, so this is one of his pieces. I did the best I could. Dr. Cross, can you tell us about the forthcoming event? And then after that, Tavon will close the show.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gone?
I don't see him. I think he's gone.
Well, I'm not going to belabor the point because the particular event he was talking about is in August, so we got a little time. Tavon, you can kind of end the show. Normally we have a summary, but we don't have the time, so we want to be very time conscious today.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in on Mindful Mondays. The date is 6/8/2026, always 12 to 2. It's an honor and a privilege. Keep in mind that the entire mission of Mindful Mondays is how can we come up with ideas to make our city the epitome of cities when it comes to improving our social life, our personal lifestyle, our family, and our community. Because without family, we can't build a community. Without community, we cannot have a city. Again, I'm honored to be here. And also, just to add for you all, that there is I was hired to help Oscar Brown Jr. You probably heard of him. He is I studied, he was the one that created rap. Oscar Brown Jr. He wrote the song Afro Blue that's sung by many artists. One of the ones. So on October 10th is his 100th birthday, and I was hired to kind of help manage that event. It's a jazz event going to be in Chicago, October 10th. More details will be coming. But for those of y'all listening today, thank you again. Mindful Mondays, every Mindful Mondays, 12 to 2. You can find us here. City Vision, BRHF Internet Radio, Mindful Mondays. I'm Tavon Brooks. I'm here with Dr. Jackson, Dr. Parr, Dr. Norman Ross, and others. Look for us again next week, 12 to 2. And I'll leave you with the song, Mindful Mondays. Until next time.
Mindful Monday. Take a breath today, not to escape the work, but to center the why behind it. Be present in your purpose. Move with intention, not urgency. Lead from peace, not pressure. Mindfulness isn't slowing down the mission, it's sharpening it. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay Yeah, Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays.